Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Mark Mullinex.
And I'm Chandler.
Welcome back. Hope you're doing well.
This is class number 14 of How Religion Gets Made, the first class offering in an entire curriculum of religious studies classes called the Technicolor Dreamcoat of Religion. We use curiosity, imagination, critical thinking to unpack the ways that religion gets made, like way before you arrived on this planet. And if you're religious, you've been brainwashed into your religion if you were born in a religious family and are still in that religion.
That's a big claim. Yeah. Brainwashed?
Yeah.
If you have not interrogated your stories and decided for you which ones are true and that you want to hold on to, brainwashed is okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you a hard truth right now. The reason you or I have the faith that we have is based on something entirely random. The time and the place where you were born. If you're very religious now or not, if you're born in another region of the world, you would be just as religious in that religion or not as you are right now. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of chance where you're born and the time. That is, the critical truth number one today is one's mindset, one's religion, one's worldview, and all these stories are context dependent and hangs totally on when and where you're born. Suck on that one, my dear critical thinkers.
Damn, well, let's calm down. We got to keep the class happy.
I want them to see, I want us to see, including me, that this stuff really does matter. There's something at stake. Mm-hmm. I get very excited by these topics. And today is part 2 of how stories and myths and narratives pretty much control our lives. I hope you've seen that Yuval Harari TED Talk by now. Please say you have. I've also written a paper that explains a lot about these stories, which can come to your email box if you write for it. And here's a picture of that first page. So, welcome to part 2 on stories and myths and narratives by which we live religiously. Our intro exercise has a lot of questions. What's life? Is life more a game of chance, or is it a win-lose scenario?
So it's like chess versus checkers.
Mm-hmm. If it's a game of chance, your story may be fatalistic. Mm-hmm. If it's the second, your story may become more combative. Next one.
Is life more a battlefield where you either get the enemy or the enemy gets you?
Yeah.
You know, die or die. And if so...
Kill or die.
Kill or die, right.
Yeah.
And if so, you may see enemies around every turn. Everywhere you look, everybody's out to get you.
Yeah.
There's always an enemy there waiting for you.
And your senses are on high alert all the time, so you're exhausted.
Yep, heads on a swivel, can never relax.
All because of a story. 2 more. Do you grow your life with a gardening metaphor? Or do you make your life with a kind of manufacturing mentality?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is the better way to be a parent? Do you grow your child first as you might treat a child in a garden, which you occasionally tend, occasionally weed, occasionally water, and let the kid just wander around the garden and have a grand old time? Or is your child an engineering project where he or she is carefully and meticulously constructed with time management and who they get to see or not see, the amount of screen time, and what kind of screens? Is it an engineering or is it a gardening process here?
Why do we do stories? Like, why do we do these things? To make sense of a world often senseless, right? Mm-hmm. That is, the world doesn't come with an owner's manual. There's no book that says, here's how you live, or here's how you parent, or here's how you do anything, really. We make it up as we go.
Wow.
I mean, we do. Stories are begun in light or in darkness, in goodness, maybe in trauma. Our memories come in story form, right? Think back to something that happened to you in life. There's a story of that memory, whether the story is of prison, education, again, trauma.
Or, like I said last time, my religious upbringing was traumatic.
Exactly. Yeah. And we act these out. You know, I'm wonderful.
I suck.
Yeah, exactly. Life is a game.
I can't do enough.
I can't satisfy anyone.
Life's a drudge.
Life is a miracle.
Play it safe.
Where does your story take you? Where is it taking you? What future is it going for? Stories are our vehicle, the only true vehicle.
Yeah. That takes us from here to there. Are we in the stories that destroy or restory? Are we getting destoried or restoried?
Great question.
So let's get to the promised good stories that we can tell each other that are promised in last class. Here are 7 stories or worldviews that are operating systems that promote inclusion. And I consider these good news and hope that you are happier than the ending of last class.
The Blackfoot.
Yeah.
All right. The Native American notion of all my relations views all of reality and life related and interconnected. Right? In the Blackfoot tribe, when people meet, they don't say, "How are you?" but "Za ni da biwa," right? Which means, "How are your connections?"
Wow.
If the connections are in place, we're all right.
Yeah.
If we're interconnected with everybody,
Yeah.
things are okay.
Imagine if we said that to each other every day. Hi, how are the connections? Wow. Second story, the bush people in Africa. There's this African ethic called Ubuntu. It's often translated as I am because you are. Ubuntu literally means a person is a person through other persons. There's no word for orphan in the African continent because each tribe automatically assumes some lost child as part of its larger family. Wow. Can you?
Something just dawned on me. Dr. Seuss,
Yeah,
a person is a person no matter how small,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He had it right.
What if you are driving right now and consider everybody on the highway as your larger family?
It'd be a lot harder to flip someone off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Or if you're a sports team, and even at a Duke Carolina football game, you say everybody in that auditorium is my family. Can you do that?
can I? No. I could try.
All right. Yeah.
So, when one becomes aware of his brother or his sister coming out of the brush after hunting or gathering, the one at home exclaims, "Ubuntu, I see you." And then the one returning rejoices, "I am here." Right? So, an anthropologist proposed a game to the kids in an African tribe. He put a basket of fruit near a tree and told the kids that the first one to find the fruits would win all of them. When he told them to run, they all took each other's hands and they ran together. They sat together, enjoying their fruits. When he asked them why they ran like that, as one could have taken all the fruits and kept it and hoarded it for themselves, they said, "Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the others are sad?"
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. And some of the Avatar movies that you may have seen sort of get at this.
Yep.
I see you. Instead of, I regard you, or I notice you out of the corner of my eye, but actually
You're there.
You're seeing the hard work of seeing someone and looking at them and noticing them, and they feel the notice. The Jewish story, I love this, proposed by Martin Buber of I, thou. It holds that God only appears wherever authentic dialogue happens. But we're tripped up and trapped in the I-it relationship, objectifying everything we meet, seeing everything as its and not as part of us. But when we can meet each other as equals, as equal living beings, then we can live out the I and thou relationship, through which the mystery of God manifests as a vital life force among us and between us.
Yeah.
The world is not comprehensible, Buber said, but is comprehensible and embraceable through the embracing of one of its beings. Wow.
That's also powerful.
So to embrace a human being is to start embracing the world. Wow.
As they are, as it is.
Yeah.
So let's look at Lebanon, right? The Lebanese greeting, Ya Ayuna, literally means, "Oh my eyes," or "Oh my darling." We need each other to see. One view is insufficient. "Oh my eyes, you're here. Now we can see.
Wow.
Now you're here with me." We gather meaning. We don't just choose it,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
The Beatles said, I am he, as you are me, and we are all together.
You don't want to sing that?
No, you don't want me to sing. Tikhan said, you are me and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we inter-are? You cultivate the flower in yourself so that I will be beautiful. I transform the garbage in myself so that you will not have to suffer.
Yeah. We inter-are. That's quite a statement. Inter-are with each other. In China, like the qin, or the mythical bird in ancient China that has only one eye and one wing, what if we also, like the mythical bird, have to find each other in order to see and to fly? Because my view is limited. My reach is limited. To fly with one wing or to see with one eye, that's a little lopsided.
You just go in circles.
In other words, we're not standalones, but part of a collective, which helps that country, which helped China become the strongest, most pervasive in history through its story called Confucianism, where you are born into a family of relationships that goes back centuries, and your job is to pay honor, not worship, but to honor these folks all the time. And so you pay special attention to your elders. Like when you and your family are together, in the United States, when you have a family reunion, it's usually the young people that decide the agenda, what movie to go see or where to eat. But in China and other Confucian countries, it's always the grandparents, the elders who get to decide the major decisions. Wow.
That's true. So early Christian mystics and Buddhism, right? The early Christian mystics, the desert fathers of the 3rd century, offer the metaphor of the great spoked wheel, right? And there's a slide for this. Always in the core and always a spoke.
Yeah.
And Buddhism uses the Eightfold Path in a wheel.
Yeah.
Same exact idea.
So you have the energy of the hub, okay, the center of it. You got the energy of each spoke, of which we are a part, and then you get the rubber meeting the road. And it needs all that to make progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw this story a few weeks ago when we saw pantheism. Okay, it's a Hindu view. We find ourselves in each and every living thing because each and every living thing is also divine. Not like they're divine, they are divine. And this is what that holy phrase in Hinduism, Sanskrit means, thou art that. Tat tvam asi. Thou art that. Which is pretty cool.
So here's another thought real quick. We were talking about different ways to greet people earlier, right?
Yeah.
And this has kind of become like more accepted and kind of social and cool to say namaste to somebody.
Right, yes.
But if you know what namaste actually means, it means I see the divine in you.
Yeah.
Like the divine in me connects with the divine in you.
How about even more? The God that is me recognizes the God that is you. Two gods recognizing each other on the path.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Why can't we do that?
Right?
Yeah. One more time. Why do we need stories?
If we don't understand our purpose, we wind up like The Walking Dead, right? That show. In a zombie-like state of being. We quit, we give up, we wander around aimlessly with no destination in mind, no vision, and in this state, our lives can become and feel meaningless.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't want that.
So, some stories that you may have heard of. If you remember 50 Cent, what was his story?
Get rich or die trying. I think it's 50. You're supposed to say 50 Cent.
50 Cent.
50.
Sorry,
Yeah, okay.
I'm not old enough. I know this dates me, but it's a good illustration of his story.
Yep. And we're just encouraging your critical thinking, guys, so that we choose the best possible story to lead us into the world, and that when we do that and we critically think, we don't become someone's bitch.
That's right.
There it is. I have to say it every episode.
Okay. Because great stories live at the heart of who we are. You get the idea of that something that you love, the world needs it, you're paid for it, you're great at it, this could be your career, but it involves also more inwardly your passion, your mission, your vocation, your profession. And these are almost like these a prioris. But when you got all this operating, you're there in that red spot in the middle, in the sweet spot. This is what it means to live inside of a great story that takes you places.
It gives you your purpose.
Yeah. These stories are our software, our operating system. Okay? Here's some examples. we hear these stories, hear the idea of once upon a time, and you're automatically set in your brain and heart to receive a story.
And make that up for yourself in your brain.
Yeah.
Jerome Bruner said in Actual Minds Possible, stories are 22 times more memorable than facts alone. And how true is that?
Yeah, yeah. If you get something and you build it up into a narrative story, people can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I remember, Jesus' parables and stories much more than we remember a lot else about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why he used them.
Yeah. So who might teach this story?
My life means more than the temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not just the here and now.
Yeah.
I live at this point in history for a reason. There's a reason I'm here right now doing what I'm doing. My existence isn't a mistake. It's not just happenstance that I happen to be sitting back at my alma mater with one of my favorite professors doing this together.
It's not accidental.
No, it's not. And I am here for a purpose, to fulfill my God-given role.
Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of people don't find that.
Yeah. And that's a pretty good story to live in.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
There's another story from Buddhism, because Buddhism, in his great night of trying to come to terms with the world, he found out that there's one thing that bothers everybody. It's the one thing that stands in the way of their happiness and being content, and that is suffering. Mm-hmm. And so his view is, I teach one thing and one thing only, that there's suffering and that there is an end of suffering.
So happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and the end of human existence. Mm-hmm. Good old Aristotle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the karma story. Karma story literally means what goes around comes around. If we're kind to someone, then that kindness has a life of its own and it comes back to us. If I cause pain to somebody, that also has a life of its own. And that pain is going to come back to me sometime, maybe this life, maybe this afternoon, maybe in a future life.
And this goes back to last class when I talked about trying to live intentionally positive.
Yeah.
It's a little bit selfish, I'm not going to lie. I mean, because if you believe in karma, however you look at that, the idea that if I'm intentionally positive and I seek to help somebody else see the positive in something, then when something bad happens to me, maybe something good will also happen because I've done good work.
Yes.
Yep. Now, here's a colorful one.
Yes.
You go ahead and read that.
What the hell does this mean? Do you know anybody who participates in this story fully? What does life mean? Liberty? Happiness? And what does it mean to pursue? I mean, do we have to pursue it, or does it sort of come to us? What does this mean? This is a story. I don't get this story.
And does it even exist anymore?
Yeah.
Or right now?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Exactly. Or this one.
the one who dies with the most shiny things wins.
Yep.
Who's got the best car, the biggest house, the nicest watch,
And you and I have both been
in that place.
suckers on this tit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
We have it. Here's my story. And these are stories that I was born into. I did not elect these or choose these. In fact, there may be a problem if I continue to choose these. But this is how I was born, okay? I was born white in a place that understands whiteness as better than anything else. Any other color? Not so good.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm born male in a male-dominant culture where females still get paid, what, 75, 79 cents to the male's dollar?
Male's dollar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They still get overlooked. They still get passed over. The silent aggression still happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. And then part of my story is that I'm heterosexual. Oops, I just came out.
No, there you are.
Okay. But a heterosexual in a place and a time where in my life to confess one as a homosexual would have gotten you killed. Okay? Killed. And I am an American. Don't know what that means right now, but I'm American, and usually that means I got a passport that can take me all kinds of places, and I can do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I do have a lot of freedom just because I'm American in America today. I'm educated. No, I'm overeducated. 3 masters and 1 PhD degree. I am way too much educated, but that came with my culture. It came with the expectations and the stories of who I was to be. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then lastly, I am abled. I do not suffer any disability whatsoever, except sometimes ignorance. But
Always.
I do not have any disabling, and I can go about life ignorant of these cards, and just live my life totally unaware of it. And what kind of person will I be if I remain unaware? So will I use these cards to get rid of them, or will I sort of play them close to the vest and hide myself and hide my eyes behind them so I'm not being bothered by other people's stories?
Right? God forbid.
Yeah. So this is the kind of challenge I'm putting out here in the class. What are the stories like these cards that you are part of? How are you privileged, and what kind of how are you making that into your personal story? Will I keep using these cards? Will I keep on hiding behind them? So let's close this class with a story. Get it? A story you've probably heard. So here's a repetition. A young boy and his grandfather were out walking one evening. The boy, trusting his grandfather, confessed.
I'm troubled, Grandfather. I don't know why my heart feels like a storm, but it does. Some days I wanted to help everyone, to be kind and generous and good. And other days I burned with anger and jealousy, with the urge to fight and be superior to everyone. Grandfather, why do I feel like there are two sides to me? One side wants peace, and the other side wants to lash out. What is happening inside me? And he looked at me for a long time as if he'd been waiting for this question. And then he said,
My grandson, inside each of us is a battle that's going on. It's as if two wolves live within us, within our hearts. One wolf is greedy, angry, full of pride, envy. The other wolf is gentle, kind, humble, and full of love.
I thought about that for a while, and then I asked, Grandfather, if both wolves are inside me, which one will win?
Grandfather smiled and answered, the one you feed.
I love that story. Actually, my grandfather told me that story when I was a kid.
Okay.
I love it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mark. And thanks, everyone, for being in class today. Next time, we're going to start out with some good stories about how people, real people, choose the better wolf and what that does to our ideas of God, right? So do your homework. Do your critical thinking. Don't become the story of being someone's bitch.
Thanks, Chandler. Thanks, class. Thank you, Mars Hill University. See ya.
Bye.